Hi and welcome to the Portrait Retouching Studio. Today we're going to be looking at eyes, the white of eyes and the color of the eyes. First we need to have a look at the eyes of our photograph. I'm just going to take the zoom tool and I'm just going to zoom up to see the eye. Today we're going to be learning how to make the whites of the eye look like whites and not red to yellows, and we're going to be learning how to either change the eye color or enhance the eye color that's already there. We're going to duplicate the background layer by shortcut Ctrl J, or by going to layer and duplicate layer, and then we're going to try and find out what is the color within this white so that we can correct it. If I mention the word color, we're going to be using either saturation or hue. We'll be working with adjustment layers found here. An adjustment layer allows us to work non-destructive on a layer and not increase the document size at the same time. If I open up the dialog box, a full array opens up and we're going to be using hue saturation. Hue saturation dialog opens up, and if I have to, it says master, open up master, you'll see a whole array of colors appear before me. I can pick any one of these colors. Because I know that white is not blue, I'm going to pick blue just to prove a point, and I'm going to select the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click into the eye, and Adobe now tells me that the color I wish to affect is yellow too. And if you look down the bottom of the dialog box where the spectrum bar is, you're going to see that there's a little gray section between two markers, and that is the selection that Adobe says is going to be affected. I can increase that selection by moving these bars, and next to it you're going to see a small triangle, and the further or closer I take those, so I increase or decrease the feather of the effect that I'm going to be applying. I wish to take out whatever color is in here, so if I want to remove color, I just have to lower the saturation until I feel like I've got the correct color. You can see the whole image is being altered, and I'm going to show you how to correct that. But right now the whites of the eyes look a lot more white. I'm going to go back to the master, and I'm just going to make that a little bit brighter by moving the lightness slider. The lightness slider is a very heavy slider, and you have to use it with the greatest of care, and you see I'm only going to go up 2 on this image. Back in my layers palette, I've got the background layer, layer 1, which is my duplicate layer, and my Hue Saturation Adjustment layer. This is the layer mask thumbnail of the Hue Saturation layer, and this is the layer thumbnail. If I double click that layer thumbnail, I go back into the dialog. I'm going to close that and go back into the layers palette. The reason why the Hue Saturation Adjustment layer is affecting our image is because the mask is white, and it says that it is applying it to the whole image. In order for the bottom image, as layer 1, to shine through, I have to change the layer mask to black. And I can do that a number of ways. The quickest way is just to select the paint bucket tool, or press G for a shortcut. Make sure my foreground color is black, and click on the mask, and then everything that is underneath it shines through. Now I'm going to select my brush tool, otherwise shortcut B, and I'm now going to brush over the white of the eye. I'm going to just change my foreground color. I'm working on a black mask, so I need a white foreground color to allow that hue saturation that I work on to remain on the white and not allow the underneath layer to shine through. I'm just going to paint over the area, and I'm going to do both eyes. And just the whites of the eyes, and that looks extremely blue. And to correct that, we just go to the opacity and we dial the opacity out to give us a more natural looking color. So if you toggle that on and off, you can just see the red has disappeared, but the eye color still looks natural. And now we have natural white, so we'll just toggle that on and off to show you again. That's it off, and when it's on, the eye whites are now nice and beautiful. Next we're going to work on the color of the eye and enhancing the color of the eye. We're going to do the exact same procedure. We're going to go to the adjustment layers. We're going to open the adjustment layer. We're going to choose the Hue Saturation Adjustment layer, and then we're just going to watch the color here. We can either enhance the color that's already there, or we can change the color completely, depending what we wish to do to the image. If you're working on a image out of a studio or image on a wedding, one would tend to only wish to enhance the natural color. When we go back to the layer, we're going to see that the layer mask is white. We need to make it black. In order to do that, we need to select the paint bucket tool or shortcut G, and you need to make sure that to change the white mask to a black mask, we have to change the foreground color from white to black, shortcut X, and click into the image and everything underneath shines through. We grab our brush once again, shortcut B, and we just paint over the area that, make sure the white foreground color is selected, and now you can just paint over the area that you wish to affect. Using very extreme colors here just to show you how dynamic this tool is that we're using. One would say these eyes are a little bit too green, and at the moment they are, because we have to do one more item. Beneath the word layers, or above all the layers that are open in the palette, you're going to see a word that says normal, and that is a blending mode dialog. If I open up this blending mode dialog, you'll see all the blending modes that are available to me. In portrait retouching, we tend to focus on just a few, those being overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid light, linear light, pin light, and hard light. And for this image and most images, we're going to choose soft light. And straight away the extreme green has disappeared. Now we're just left with a very intense green. So we're going to do the same trick as before. We're going to go take the opacity and we're going to dial the opacity down so we get something more natural. Right there. And toggle it on, toggle it off, and now we're just going to look at it in context. They're a lot more vivid eyes. And just to show you the full implication of what we've done, I'll just increase it so we can get more of an idea there. If I toggle group 1, which I've now joined the two together, off, we get back to the original image, and when I toggle it on again, we get back to the new image, which is a lot more striking. And that's the way that we quickly correct the white of the eyes and make the color of the eyes more intense or change them completely. Thank you for listening. Until next time.